Welcome to the FMLS Market Intel Report. I'm Leslie Appleton-Young, Chief Economist for FMLS. Last time we talked about the forecast for the second half and the strong recommendation to not expect significantly lower mortgage rates. In this context, Realtor.com's recent housing forecast mid-year update was not a surprise. It projects an average mortgage rate for the year of 6.7%, with a downward trajectory reaching 6.4% at year-end. As a result, nationally, sales would actually drop by 1.5% to 4 million transactions for all of 2025. This is the lowest level of sales since 1995 and marks the third consecutive year where sales have been at a 30-year low. Perhaps it should come at no surprise that for the first time in 9 years, the number of U.S. homeowner households actually fell. And in Q2 2025, the homeownership rate was at 65%, the lowest level since 2019. The other big story for 2025 is the significant rise in homes for sale. Inventory has been rising and is up 24.8% nationally and 30.7% higher in Greater Atlanta. What has people scratching their heads is that this has not translated into higher sales or anything close to a market balancing drop in prices, noted Danielle Hale, Chief Economist for Realtor.com. Even with more homes on the market, buyer response has remained muted compared to what we'd expect from similar shifts in the past. There is no doubt market power has shifted to buyers. They have more power to negotiate, and motivated sellers are more likely to drop their listing price and/or offer concessions. While I would hesitate to call this a buyer's market, given the challenge of housing affordability, there are now significantly more sellers in the market than there are buyers. Redfin reported that in April, there were 1.9 million active listings or home sellers and only 1.5 million buyers. This equates to a shortfall of 490,000 or 34%, the largest gap in recent history. In Metro Atlanta, Redfin estimated there were 63% more home sellers than buyers, well above the national average. They also reported that 61% of Atlanta home sellers have offered concessions to buyers in 2025, compared to 44% nationwide. In light of all this, what is the best advice for sellers and buyers? Accept reality. Elevated mortgage rates beginning in 2022 ushered in a new era of dampened market activity. Sales are 20 to 25% below what was once considered normal balanced market activity, and home prices are fairly stable. Sellers may not be getting their initial asking price, but they aren't selling at big discounts either. Until the underlying foundation of housing demand and supply changes, it's time to see today's market for what it is, the new normal. We are left with the hope that rates will come down, that public policy and its impact will become more predictable, and that the personal financial insecurity being felt by so many subsides. All this will help to bring the housing market back in balance. Until then, it will be more important than ever for sellers to price accurately, stage attractively, and market aggressively. Buyers should be armed with a clear strategy based on their finances and housing goals, a detailed implementation plan, and a readiness to commit as circumstances change, such as a drop in rates. Preparation is the key, not wishful thinking. Take a look at market intel on the FMLS website to access the most current market statistics. They are updated weekly. If you're interested in resources relative to our market dynamics and want to dive into local markets, we've got you covered. For FMLS Market Intel, this is Leslie Appleton-Young. See you next time.